Join now on the broadcast behind the mic with Dan O'Connor, the voice of the Vancouver Giants. If you've got a sharp memory, you might remember he's been on the broadcast prior as the voice of the Prince George Cougars. How about your adjustment? How's life back in Vancouver where it started for you?
Really good to be back on your broadcast. I'm glad that we've established this cross-country friendship together over the radio, but I'm really enjoying the move. They're really enjoying the transition. I mean, Vancouver was and is home for me again, and I think to make the move, it's always special when you have a chance to come home, and things happen for a reason, I guess, and a chance to get my career in the major junior market anyway started in Prince George was unforgettable, and I'll never forget the memories and all of the good that came from that. But to be in Vancouver with the Vancouver Giants and a first-class program and such a storied program feels really good.
Now, is this awkward from a rivalry point of view? Are the Giants and the Cougars near the top of each other's hit list?
It'll be really interesting to go back to Prince George. There is a BC division rivalry. It doesn't get too personal for me, and my memories of Prince George are nothing but positive.
Looking at the BC division, Giants showing in a playoff spot, which is something they haven't been the last couple of years. Was this where the team was expected to be?
It's been a good start. I would say it's probably been a fairly accurate depiction of the roster that I think we felt we had here in Vancouver. Lots of returning talent, but talent, as you mentioned, that is unproven in the postseason. You've got a player like Ty Ronning, who has scored 30 goals in the WHL before. I think everyone expected that he would be a big-time contributor as a 20-year-old. And if you were to say that he'd have 20 goals through the first 21 games, not too many folks outside of Vancouver would have probably believed it, but he's been phenomenal offensively. And then you factor in a player like James Malm, who's an 18-year-old, a little undersized, but a player who kind of quietly had 20 goals last season for a Giants team that struggled. He's all of a sudden really caught fire offensively and has provided some strong secondary scoring. And Tyler Benson, Edmonton Oilers prospect, who has been just ravaged with injuries throughout his whole junior hockey playing career for the most part. He's back. He's healthy. He's got 12 points in 8 games. So the Vancouver Giants can score with the best of them in the Western Hockey League, and now it's really just a question of doing it consistently and keeping pucks out of their own net, but they're starting to figure that out as well.
Wanted to further touch on Benson because, as you mentioned, draft pick at the Edmonton Oilers, just missed going in the first round. How does he project going forward as a professional, do you think? Obviously, I guess it's tough to get a read on his play if he's always been hurt.
There's no denying the skill set of Tyler Benson. I mean, he's a player that was picked first overall in the WHL Bantam draft back in 2013, and you can really see the sign. I wouldn't say there's anything flashy about his play. He's not a gangler. He's not going to beat you with moves and explosivity, but he's the kind of player where you look at the score sheet at the end of every game, and he's on there with a goal and a couple of assists, or he'll be on there with 3 assists, and then you'll think to yourself, and you'll think, oh yeah, right, he did do all of that. And he was very effective. So a bit of a silent assassin type of approach really for Benson, but he just sees the ice so well. His ability to generate, his ability to use his teammates around him, and I think if you talk to people in Vancouver that have seen him a lot more than I have, they've told me that 2 things are different with Benson this year. One, his play along the boards and his physicality has really improved. And I think that's just a testament to being a little older, being a little more sure of yourself when you're on the ice. And the biggest thing, I think the biggest change with Tyler Benson is his shot. How often do you hear it? The excellent playmakers have a great shot. They just sometimes choose not to use it. Well, Tyler's been using that shot a little more this season, and it has had some phenomenal results. He's got 4 goals upon his return, but he could probably have a lot more than that if he shot more. But the signs are really strong there offensively for him, and I think the Edmonton Oilers are still going to be very pleased with the selection they made 32nd overall back in 2016.
Lastly, I wanted to ask about the location for the Giants because you're in your first year there, but the team not really cemented yet, I guess, in Langley. It's been a few years since they moved from downtown Vancouver. Have the Giants been able to really make Langley in the suburbs their home, and has the team reacted a bit better now that they might have a playoff team there for the first time?
I would say that the transition is still ongoing, and you still have the faithful Vancouver Giants fans that are a little bitter about the move and a little bit disappointed, I suppose, with the change. But you've also got this almost untapped area of the Lower Mainland in Langley where you've got a lot of young families. You've got a great world-class facility in the Langley Event Center that I think is maybe a little more suited to the junior hockey lifestyle, I suppose. And you're talking to a lifelong Canucks fan who watched his first ever game at the Pacific Coliseum and fell in love with that building. I loved the Coliseum for so many reasons, but there's just something about the Langley Event Center. I feel that there's a real potential there. And of course you want to win, and of course you want to get the fans excited when you've got a good team on the ice. The Giants are establishing that, but now it's all about just kind of making the Langley Event Center a bit of an experience unto itself. And from the staff who are welcoming fans into the building, for the video crew who do such an amazing job, for just the in-game experience, because as we all know, it's not just about watching a hockey game anymore. People spend their hard-earned money on a lot of different things. You want to try and keep them entertained when the play is not going on, and I think that the Giants are doing a phenomenal job in that capacity.
Certainly a lot more than what's on the ice when it comes to the junior hockey product, no doubt, but a decent one on the ice as well in Vancouver, and best of luck the rest of the way into the team on the ice. Thanks for this, Dan.
My pleasure, as always. Keep up the good work, and I look forward to our next conversation.
That's Dan O'Connor, now the voice of the Vancouver Giants, joining us at the intermission. You're listening to Carstar, Cape Breton Screaming Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.